when you were talking about the sustainability topics, if I if I understood it correctly, what you were saying is that simplicity is key, and I assume consistency is also key. Because I'm trying to understand, like how you have people sticking around for a longer period of time. Because I think plug the Portland Linux Unix user group, it's been in existence for at least over a decade.
Yeah, 30 years. Torvalds came to our 20th and 30th anniversaries earlier this year, 94 to, I guess I should know that, to, yeah, 24.
So, and how long have you been involved in the group?
Oh, since late 2000, what was it? I guess 96. Well, it was 94, so 96-ish, 98, which was, I guess, pretty early in those days. And that's when Linux was coming online and it was all the rage. And IBM put $1 billion into Linux, and it was, hot stuff. And fortunately, Portland has a large enough tech community, be it Intel out in Hillsboro, be it Tektronix, be it all these vendors, that there are plenty of people here. It's absolutely sustainable. I feel for those who are genius in a small town with just no one to even discuss these topics with. That's where online needs to supplant that. We can't always talk to our family members about these topics. It's just not, it's just this different thing. It's almost like a foreign language that we speak. In many regards, we can use the same mechanisms for separation that way. So I'm trying to think back to the pre-lockdown times of what distance communication meant, because that was engagement, but it was mailing lists, it was IRC, it was chat platforms, it was dozens of chat platforms. And if I were to put one big banner up, it's just don't drive people off. I've seen countless communities, non-technical and technical, that just, for whatever reason, and if we're going there, a great many people are on some form of spectrum, and I believe that it might even be required for some of this. To keep a data structure of a kernel in your head may require a special brain, and developers can be very blunt for whatever reason and be off-putting by their bluntness, despite the fact that they're just stating the facts. They're not attacking you, they're just explaining the allocator or something. So putting different people in the same room doesn't always have the effect and result you're expecting, because, well, they're all related to, say, Linux. I'll just say Linux, GNU Linux. Some might be very low-level developers, some might be new users, some might not look like the others, and it's tricky to navigate. So I'm not saying we should segregate people. That's a horrible notion, but we have to find those optimal means of communications between these new users and advanced users. And we absolutely can't tell people, oh, that's a dumb idea, and they just don't know. Like, well, what version of Linux does FreeBSD use? It's like, well, that's a nonsensical statement, but you just have to politely explain that it is, rather than yell at somebody. So I guess those are all wetware issues. The humans have to be nice to each other and tolerant and patient. And that takes leaders who are not purely technical, because there are a lot of non-technical skills. I'd argue the non-technical skills in a community are just as important as the technical, but everyone has their opinion on that topic. Purely technical is problematic. Purely non-technical doesn't advance the cause. It's fascinating. Although, is documentation technical? I suppose there are times you have to know exactly what's going on to accurately describe that. Are you wanting to focus on new users or retention of participants? New participants or retention? Because like I said, the big sign to put up is just retain people in whatever way you feel necessary, and please get help if you think a bunch of aggressive tech people who are geniuses who want to reach out, well, we have to educate them on what it looks like to be gentler with the broader population. And wow, at some point, people realize that typically the money is outside of core technical groups. And if you are to make friends with organizations with money that want to help what you're doing, first, yeah, it is a challenge to explain what you're doing. Well, we want to do a new kernel allocator. I'll just pull some random, example out of thin air. That's a very hard pitch. But if you can make that pitch and there's a sympathetic company that says, yeah, we'll put in N number of dollars, euros, capex, whatever, um, that is exactly what they're after, but they probably don't even realize that. They think there's a technical solution to all things, and that's their worldview, and they will do the portion that they can do within their confines of free time and day, and you name it, and the speed of their processor for compilation, you name it. So I think, and I'll say thank you for any of these efforts, be it a foundation to, in some way, any way, merge technical and non-technical engagement. It's easy to be blind to it, but we're doing it right now. I encourage every viewer to do the same in your community, be it, what is it? Think globally, act locally. Just there, that is not a joke. That's true. I verified that is the case. Just uh, think about the three people who have never really met and only briefly met in the same building, two of us. Well, if you remove those barriers to continued engagement, this is exactly what it looks like, and the results are fantastic. And hopefully, the legislators of the world just kind of, I don't want to say get out of the way and let us do it, but to some degree, just get out of the way and let us do it, because just trust the process. And with a balance of transparency and enthusiasm and a little money and pizza and you name it, magic happens. That's the paradox that is free software.